This event is positive for the asset quality improvement of Bandhan Bank, and according to brokerages, there are more such NPL recovery events which are lined up. But yet the stock is under pressure, 4.5%. What explains that?
So, Rima, my understanding is that in you are receiving only 9% of the amount, I think, which you lent in the process. I think that would raise many questions about, I think, the lending that the bank has been doing and the due diligence checks that they've been applying. Because in a recovered market situation, even if you are not recovering, I think, a 30-40% kind of an amount, this means that I think the question would be raised on how the practices are as far as I think the lending is concerned. And that is where probably I think the market has not given the kind of a look to this particular transaction. And I would think that I think this is where it is going to remain as a overhang going forward as well. So let's see how exactly it works. But I think more important question, I think given the kind of market at this point of time in which the buoyancy is experienced, the lender should be having reasonably high amount of growth and lower amount of NPS. Here the situation is possibly not coming under control as much as I think one would have liked it to be.
You know, the market breadth, by the way, today is particularly bad. You know, you got some 5:1 in terms of advances to decline ratio. We've not had this kind of number for a while, for a long time, and the advance decline crossed over early and has not looked back since. Very, very steady with almost 5:1, 6:1 kind of advances to declines ratio. Now, diagnostic stocks have been in focus, but they've also seen lots of price reversal. Look at Thyrocare, for example. Thyrocare went up 15% yesterday. In the morning, it was up another 7-8%. It's down 8%. You know, it's basically a 16% reversal for Thyrocare from the day's high today. But what's happening here in this space? Ekta is here with a quick roundup. Ekta, hi.
Thanks for that. Well, yes, you know, the larger theme of COVID-19 seems to be playing out. So we're just picking out a couple of stocks which have in the past been, in fact, impacted by COVID-19 positively. So I'll start, for example, with Wockhardt, which has seen a large amount of volume action in today's trading session. They do have a contract with the UK government for supplies of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. Other vaccine-related stocks include the likes of Dr. Reddy's, Zydus Life, Biocon, Pfizer. Divi's Labs has in the past been in focus on account of their supplies of the Molnupiravir API or intermediate. Cipla and Zydus Life as well, they had one of the largest portfolios of COVID-19 related drugs in India, and other COVID-19 related drug stocks included the likes of Gland as well as Alembic. Now, diagnostic stocks, as we've been addressing, have been in focus on account of hopes of higher testing. Now, however, what we have seen is that COVID-19 related opportunities have dwindled for most of them. For example, if you just look at the commentary, Divi's Labs said there was a slowdown in projects related to COVID-19. Wockhardt, their UK first half revenue was 422 crores versus 794 crores year on year. Cipla, Q2, the indicated demand for COVID-19 drugs had become negligible. Gland Pharma sales were impacted because of the absence of COVID-19 related drugs on a year on year basis. Diagnostic stocks, COVID-19 related testing has fallen anywhere between 84 to close to 97% on a year-on-year basis. And this time round, COVID-19 is not expected to be the same as well. We might be more resilient is what experts say. That is because we have hybrid immunity, which is a combination of natural immunity due to exposure as well as vaccinations. And a large amount of the adult population, in fact, is vaccinated with at least 2 doses. There seems to now be a larger understanding in the market about this, because as we saw diagnostics stocks run up yesterday, they have now come off in today's trading session. We had the likes of Thyrocare, in fact, mention that they've not seen any rise in the COVID-19 related testing as of now.
Ekta, thanks very much for that. Look at the market go. Oh, wow, boy, 100 points lower, just like that. I mean, butter, knife through butter, right? Hot knife. And we're basically back at that trend line, just like that, almost there. We're at, what, 18,106, and, you know, the low was 18,070. The touch point is slightly higher, but just about 15-20 points away. And this has happened very, very sharply, very, very quickly. It's on your screen now as we speak. Deven, of course, is still with us. Deven, you know, these path lab companies, I don't know if you have a view, but the extent of damage in broader markets is pretty large, very, very large. So just a few other names. Deepak Fertilizer, for example, a big 6% cut. These fertilizer companies are all other fertilizer, Fact, RCF, NFL, all selling off. Garden Reach, defense name, selling off some 7-8%. I can spot Godfrey Phillips down 6%, GIC Housing down 6%, and big volumes on most of these names. What do you make of this, Deven?
Understand they have been carrying the positions by some of the large HNIs and the traders and the operators, where they have created a leverage position into some of these counters. In my viewpoint, I think given the kind of fall in the market and the uncertainty around, they are the ones I think who are basically trying to offload their leverage position, and that is where I think you are seeing a sharp fall in some of these cash market counters. I think which are basically I think having the larger amount of pressure on the stock prices. I don't think that I think we are talking fundamentals on the companies which are in defense, and I think they remain as strong as they were before, including in the garden which you have mentioned about. But the point is that I think the larger position is being offloaded largely because of the deleveraging process going on currently at this point of time with some of the HNI investors, I believe.
All right. I don't know whether you track Huhtamaki India. Deven, it's not a stock that we talk about very often. The reason why it's swum into my ken right now is because in a market like this, it's a stock which is up 11% odd. It's surging, and at the same time, the volumes are picking up on that one as well. Almost 5 times the average that we've seen on that counter. Your thoughts on this one and the industry?
So honestly, I think I'm not tracking this particular company, so I won't give any specific view on this. But currently, I think in some of the smaller companies, what we are observing, there is the requirement, inorganic activities are basically happening around. And as a result of which, I think sometimes a sharp price along with a change of hands do take place. That could be one of the possibility, I think, that as I see it. But honestly, I think since we don't track it, so would be refrain from putting across any views on this particular company.
And do stay on. We need to slip into a very short break. On the other side, we'll also invite Vaibhav Sanghvi of Avendus Capital Alternate Strategies.